engage him. He's going to come up the podium, tell us about himself, how he started, how he got about this project, and the next phase. And after that, I would expect you all to bombard him with very difficult questions. But I'm sure he's also going to ask you a very difficult question, because he's a very difficult man. In fact, the most difficult person I've seen in my entire life. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the filmmaker of Kaka and Mary Makaba, Nigerian selection in Oscars, Prince Daniel, aka Aboki.
All right, thank you. Are you excited to be here?
Yeah.
I want to first appreciate the management of Cosmopolitan University for this opportunity, and then of course to my Oga Emmanuel and the Director of Studies of KUFA. I'm not taking it lightly, and to the student, thank you for turning up. My name is Prince, my surname is Daniel, but I'm known as Aboki, and I'll tell you why. Up until now, I'm a broadcaster with Wazobia FM. As a matter of fact, I'm the group programs director in charge of Full FM that you listen to, Wazobia FM that you listen to, Nigeria Info that you listen to, and I just gave Abuja Kids FM, which is the fourth of our stations here in Abuja, and we are just behind this building. And I'm in charge of all our 16 radio stations across Nigeria. I mean, Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, Lagos, Onitsha, and Kano. And of course, by the grace of God, we are giving Benin. In the next 3 months, we are giving Benin Wazobia FM in Benin. Because 2 months ago, we launched, a month ago, we launched Kids FM for children here in Abuja and Port Harcourt to follow the one in Lagos. So I am first a broadcaster. No, I was first an actor, then a broadcaster, then a filmmaker, and I will tell you the journey. I started professionally as an actor with NTA Tales by Moonlight. That was from then. And then somehow I shifted to AIT Country People. When I was in NTA, I was both an actor and a crew member. An actor with Tales by Moonlight and then for another production, which was a drama, a comedy drama by Akwauso, written by Charles Novi. I was a production assistant. Production assistant is Senboy. In Hausa, we call it Bang Aika. Everybody go cross leg. They send you to go buy other things. So that was where I started. And when I moved to AIT Country People, I was an actor with Victor Oswagu, that was later known as Willow Sharp Sharp, and Lady G, formerly of Wazobia FM in Abuja. I was a gate man. Victor was houseboy in one house. Ikaiti was house girl in another house. And then, of course, we had Julius Agbo and other people in that production, including the famous Shola Shobowale of the King of Boys. She was with us in Country People. Then I relocated back to the north, where I was with FRC and Radio Nigeria. 2012, I moved to Wazobia FM as a presenter, and I anchored up until 2 years ago. I was the anchor of the Wazobia Una Wake Up show in Kano under the name of Aboki. That was how I got the name Aboki. I did the morning show for 11 years, and I grew through the ranks 10 times in 12 years until I became the group programs director. I am a recipient of a couple of awards. I think in record, with all humility, I've received more awards than any filmmaker and any broadcaster in Nigeria. As of this morning, my awards are 173. And the films you watch, Kaka is an intervention and education in northern Nigeria. And as of now, Kaka received awards and nomination last year alone, in less than 6 months, awards and nomination 36. Kaka was the best Nollywood film in the UK last year. It was the best Nollywood film in Canada last year. Yakub Mohammed from the film received the nomination for Best Actor, Best African Actor at the Septimius Award in the Netherlands. And then we also, for Kaka, received Best Costume at the African Film Festival in Texas, in the US. And we were able also to talk about the film last year, September, at the United Nations General Assembly. And as of today, the film is being studied in the Department of Education, Faculty of Education at Queen's University in Ontario, in Kingston, Ontario, in Canada. And then for Memataba, of course, it made it to the Oscars as Nigeria's third ever successful entry to the Oscars. And just for the record, Oscars has been 97 years. And I say with all sense of pride that Ghana never snubbed the Oscar, even with their jollof rice. But don't tell them I said so. So Nigeria made its third appearance with Memataba. Memataba means His Highness in Hausa. And of course, the one before Memataba was Mami Wata by C.J. Obasi. And then the one before CJ's film was Milkmaid by Desmond. And of course, you know, South Africa had gone to the Oscars 21 times, winning once. That is the story of Memataba. And then for the first time in the history of African Magic Viewers Choice Award, AMVCA, a director had 2 jobs, competing or contending in one category. So Memataba and Kaka came head to head with Liz Shabi, Anik Rise of the Scepter, and 7 Doors in the category for Best African Indigenous Language, Best Indigenous Language Film West Africa. And at different festivals, we are born differently. In one festival, Killer, we got 9 nominations, and we went ahead and won 3. Abuja International Film Festival, we got 5, we won 3. We won from the AMA, we were selected for Africa. In fact, we were everywhere at the close of last year with these 2 films. And someone had asked me, why was Kaka moving faster than Memataba? I said, soon as we were done with Memataba, God helped us. We went straight to the Oscars. And then going straight to the Oscars meant there was no other award that Memataba should have entered. The Oscars is the World Cup for us filmmakers. So we feel highly privileged because both jobs were done in the north. Memataba was shot in Daura, the hometown of former President Buhari, and Kaka was also filmed in Kano. And so far, the 2 are said to be the most expensive Hausa films ever made. Kaka's budget was about 120 million. Memataba was 137 million. And our next film, okay, the film before our next film, no. We have one, we're starting filming on the 3rd. I think I will bring the details later if asked. And then we have one that have a cast of 1,200. And the budget is double the budget of Kaka and Memataba. I'll talk about it later. Memataba also was one of the 3 films selected to screen at this year's Nollywood in Hollywood. So we were in Hollywood to screen Kaka alongside The Man Died and The Weeknd. So we were excited because we're telling the story in a language that isn't too familiar in the film industry, and then God is helping us. And of course, I won't forget that Memataba's soundtrack that you listen to, a little of it, is already in all major streaming platforms, from Amazon to Apple and all other streaming, because we've signed a 3-year deal with Mayor Plaza, channeling through Sony Music. So it's been released in 223 countries. And then we will be taking, for the next 3 years, we'll be taking 50% of all the dollars from the streaming of the soundtrack. And this is the first time for any Nollywood film, not Kannywood, Nollywood film. And then of course it's coming in flight with one of the biggest airlines in the world. I won't mention the name, even though I told Dr. Ben. So watch out for it. Our aggregator are already discussing with Netflix and with Amazon. And then we have moved to the next production, which I whispered to him, one-man cast, 85 minutes. I'll talk about it at some point. I rest my case. Why are the people that give me the mic? All right, so I should start entertaining questions. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. No, I don't need mine.
Sorry. Oh, it is her.
So I'd like to ask, what inspired you to go all the way? As an entrepreneur, where did you get, and I don't want to talk about funding. There were times when it didn't look like it was going to move. How were you able to
Navigate.
How are you able to navigate? What kept you pushing?
Okay, she is even almost to tears. My friend from insurance. Okay, so well, up until now, no one has ever funded my films. I told Dr. Ben I do it myself. Yes, no one. You can put me anywhere. I fund my projects. Magaji is coming, and Magaji's budget is 420 million. Because we have, for special effects for Magaji, we are bringing the crew from Venom and Anaconda. And it's also a house thing we are filming in Bauchi. Yeah, so because we have a snake, we have a serpent that is as tall, I think, as taller than this building. And when it comes out, it quits. So we're getting two guys from Venom and 2 guys from Anaconda. And I can tell you for free that for visual effect alone, we're spending over $53,800. So that's minus their logistics. So give and take, visual effect for the film alone is over 100 million. Because we're building 2 kingdoms. You can see from Nemataba, we have to build a bandits camp that will eventually burn down. And then we built half of a village for the film. So Magaji is insane. And we wanted to start filming in June, but we couldn't because of rain. Because if rain sets, where am I going to keep 1,200 cast and another 100 crew? So we said we should shift it to around September. Well, in the meantime, because we are restless, we thought to do Akwati. Akwati is an investigative journalist who was kidnapped and kept in a box from something he discovered. So I will start the film in the box and finish in the box for 85 minutes. And Dr. Ben said, what sort of madness is that? Indeed, it is madness. And we'll start filming on the 3rd of July. We're using the soundstage of the National Film Institute in Jos. Cast and crew, 12 crew, 1 cast. And a lot of voices. Trust me, it's going to be a disruption in the film industry. So, how I get my money is that I am a serial entrepreneur. I do a lot of businesses. As a matter of fact, when I was on air, they were calling me Nnamdi China because I love money and I love business. So I bring money from other platforms. But by the way, the manager of all our companies, I mean my personal companies, don't tell my organs that I have my personal company, is here. Honestly, please stand up to be recognized. Yes. He's one of the most honest people I've seen. I didn't know you will be attending this event. He's in charge of Blackbeard Group. And Blackbeard Group is a group of companies that we have. Blackbeard Agro for agriculture. In my farm, we could farm up to 300 bags of corn. He's also in charge of Blackbeard Shelter. We're into housing and other stuff. He's in charge of Blackbeard Media. That is the arm where we do films and advertising. We're also an advertising agency. We have Blackville Consult. We do interior design. I do it myself. So when you do this place, you build it, you give me, and let me chop your money. And then we have Blackville everything. Blackville Film and Media Academy. We have Blackville what?
Oh yeah.
Blackville Oil. So we are putting her inside oil and gas, small. So when we gather the money, then we put the money into production, at least a percentage of the money. And by the way, 20% of all our proceeds from films is expected to go into One Book Africa. One Book Africa is an initiative to educate almost every child in northern Nigeria. I'm from the northern part of Nigeria. And so I went to the UN last year to talk about education using film. So that's what we do. So we move money here and bring money there and bring money there. Until when the Oscars came up, and I had the privilege to meet with the Vice President twice. And we made a commitment that our next production, since we are taking people off the street, they hope that the government will come through. I hope they will too, because we didn't get any support when we were going to the Oscars. Except, of course, Sterling Bank, that gave us a lot of money as support. I can't remember anyone giving us money. But that's a conversation for another day. So we use our monies to do our films. And the passion is we believe in filmmaking. All my life I wanted to become an actor, even though now I don't want to be. So I remember even from Sunday school, they said, what did you want to become? I said, an actor. Everybody laughed. Now I'm the one laughing at them. Yeah, so it is the passion. And the passion started when we would do jobs that won't pay. And No Matter What was my first feature film, but definitely not my first film. I did one many years ago that didn't see the light of the day. In fact, I did 3 films that never smelled the light of the day. Azaba, Asali, and one other film. They all perished. And then we didn't even have that much resources. So before I now did a short film, sometimes around 2020, that won Best Short Film at Nollywood, Toronto International Nollywood Film Festival, and many other festivals. And then we did another one. The first was on epilepsy. Then the second was on kidnapping. And all have gone to win Best Short Films at different festivals. So passion. So passion sustains us. We raise our money. And another thing I don't want to do is I don't want to use anybody's money to take risk. So I use my money. If I had used anybody's money for my mataba, I would have been in jail by now because the film has been in the mill for 3 years. We've been working. In fact, at some point, we were not satisfied after post-production, so we went back to reshoot. We collapsed 46% of the film and went back to do a pickup. From a matter we did 6 pickups. 6. At different times. So we'll come out and watch and say, this would have been like this. That was how the Bandits Camp came to be, and like that. This is the 3rd year. But again, we have been rewarded. Going to the Oscars is the highest, is the peak for every filmmaker. So my team and I are grateful to God, and of course grateful to the Nigeria Selection Committee for that opportunity, because it has opened us up and it's bringing us into conversation rooms globally. Even this week, we were supposed to have been in the US on the invite of Robert De Niro at Tribeca. But we opted for our production planning for Akwati. So that's where it is. Where we find the monies, we do the film. If we don't find, we believe we will find. Oftentimes we start the jobs without all the monies. So we'll just be telling ourselves that scripturally, in fact I used to quote a lot of scriptures. Excuse me to quote a little. There is this scripture where Jesus sent the disciples and he said to them, carry no purse, carry no scroll, carry no sandals, salute no man on the way. That's from the book of Luke chapter 10. 22 chapters later, when they returned, he asked them, when I sent you, he mentioned those things. He said, lack ye anything? And they said they lack nothing. So we depend on God for the supply for our productions. That's the summary of that story. We don't collect anybody's money, at least for now. But if you are willing to invest, we are willing to collect. Did I answer you? Yes, sir. Let me have Chief.
Let me, on behalf of our students, appreciate you. My question is the two films that were shown to us are practically in Hausa language. Those of us who do not really hear Hausa language, do you have any future with you? That is one. Secondly, it was our mission that brought us to this place. How can you assist us to also be like you and add our values to the society? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Well, I will start from the second question, Chief. It is that what I do to bridge the gap of capacity is that for every production, except of course the next one we're doing, for every production I do, I carry 10 interns. 10. And why 10 is because I teach pro bono at the University of, at the Department of Theatre and Performing Arts in the UK. And so I understand town meets gown because there's capacity gap. And as an employer of labor, I've been on panels to recruit presenters. I found out that coming out from school, these younger people really know, they don't know that much. And so in bridging the gap, we say to the school that for every time we are going for production, we are going to take up to 5 students. And the 5 will be in different departments of their choice. You want to major in light, we attach you to gaffer. You want to do costuming, we attach you to the costumier. And then we take 5 from the society, young people who are interested in filmmaking. And we go with them to the location. And they know we are not going to pay them. They will sign contract forms that they are interns. They are here to understudy. And what I always said to them is, understudy very well, because we are not satisfied having to bring crew every time from Lagos. I don't have anything against Lagos, but how do you build the capacity of the people around you when you always have to import? So, and I told them, I said, for Nemataba, we brought 80% of the crew from Lagos. And we said to them, study so that next time we'll bring less. And of course, by Kaka, we brought just 40%. So it means the capacity of people have been upskilled and they've upskilled. So that is how I do in my production. I can't afford to do it for Aquati, which will start in the next 2-3 weeks, because it is a trained crew. The entire crew are 12 with one cast. And of course, voice actors that we will not even have to bring to the set. So I can't afford to do that. But we did that with Nemataba. Honestly, was the production accountant by driving. You learn driving by driving. You don't sit down and be saying, okay, brake, all right, you. That's why they say any car, when they use mouth drive, no, they get accident. So you come to the field and learn from the job. And when we don't have production, since it doesn't come often, we connect people, younger people, that are doing stuff on their social media with other people that are doing production. Like you said, Ima is doing production. Mr. Edo is doing production. We attach them and say, go and learn. That's how we do it. I hope I've answered that one. Internship. And by the way, at the end of the day, to their surprise, we eventually end up paying them. They will spend money for their accommodation. They will eat what everybody is eating. And when they are going, we give them something based on the size of the production, so that they don't go home empty-handed. Because I remember our early days of production, somebody would tell us, every day we call you on location, but you're not bringing anything. Shishi, we know they bring. So we don't want them to be mocked that you've gone to location 30 days, 20 days, and you are coming empty-handed. Because it is a business. That's why it is in showbiz. There is a show and there's the business part of the show. Mungani. And the first question was, yes, so this is how it works. The future, why I decided to start doing Hausa film first was when I discovered by myself that the future of African cinema is actually indigenous language. And I'll give you references. Reference number one, the films that are making the most numbers on Netflix and Amazon are language films. From Manipulapo to Jagun Jagun to all these production, language films. Then the second one, why will the Oscars in the US give the whole world one category to compete in, which is IFF, International Feature Film, except the US, every country, India, South Korea, Nigeria, okay, Ghana never made it. So all of them are competing under one category, one. And it has to be foreign language. That's why you saw that in the 21st appearance of South Africa, they went 21 times. And they won in 2006 with Tutsi. Tutsi was in Swahili. It was Swahili. In fact, the first African film, a lot of people said the first African film to win an Oscars was Tutsi. No. Africa started winning Oscars since 1967, 1957, with a film from Algeria in Arabic called Z or Z. Then in 1979, from Cote d'Ivoire, even though all the Oscars won in Africa are not by African directors, but again it was from Africa. With that film was black and white in color before 2006. So the gap from the 70s to 2006 was the problem. That's why everybody said Tutsi. And Tutsi is Swahili. The other one is French. The other one is Arabic. So from that we saw that the future of African cinema is actually indigenous language. Because the white man wants to see your story. They want to see our stories. So to zero down whether you have a future with us or not, you have a future and you also don't have a future. Why you don't have a future is, for now, our 10 lined up slates are going to be in Hausa. And it is strategic. But where you also have a future is that all will be subtitled. And it is also to bridge the gap of both content and capacity. Content, because you go to Netflix, it's only one Hausa film. Matia Zazo by Rahama Sado, and none. And then you go to the Yoruba sector of the industry. They have moved ahead of everyone. So we're not competing with them, but we're bridging the gap to bring the northern stories to front burner as well, so that people can compete. And when I say northern stories, I mean anyone in the northern part of the country is a member of our crew, if not member of our cast. So we're looking out for the north. I mean, northerners and northern residents. That's how our crew even are composed, cosmopolitan, like the university. Everybody, Beguiru, Kowa the Kowa is in our crew. And we intend to continue to do that for other reasons. Again, the north is always in the news for the wrong things. What about for films? That was why we're excited when they said a house of film is going to the Oscars. And then we are creating jobs. By the way, I didn't even say, the small feature that you have with us is that we have also done a couple of English films, but this time around, as a co-producer. One of the most insulted films in Nigeria is Hijack 93. I'm a co-producer of Hijack 93, by the way. So the next time you are insulting me, I'm inside. I'm inside the insult. And we hosted that production in Kano. And I told the governor when I had the opportunity to talk with him to say, see the jobs we are creating. Because extras alone, I recruited over 700 to sit in the aircraft. And we grounded Boeing 747, not 737, of Max Air for 28 days. We're filming inside. I can't even tell you the logistics. But of course, the producers, my organs are big people. Charles of Play and Rogers of Filming. I was just a co-producer and the host producer. So I listed to him the economy of Kano that we boosted with that film. And I told him, X minus Bristol, where the Nancy Sime, Jemima or Sunday, all of them stayed. From 2 smaller hotels where we had to pay 45,000 per night, we had 40 rooms for 30 days. Do the maths. Even people selling water. Even people renting buses. Because we had 4 hires and 2 coasters. And we're paying for each day, the coaster, 70,000. And the hires, since there are many, we're paying 50,000. Do the maths. For even 30 days. And they're moving almost 500 people daily through the tarmac. It was insane. So when people are insulting it, we're just looking at them with corner eye. By the way, as they were insulting the film, the numbers were going up. So Netflix is happy. It's happy with the film. And then of course I had another one that went to the cinema. I was also an associate producer for anyone who watched Still Falling. Produced and directed by Bingo Atia. I was the co-producer of it. It went to the cinema, it went to Amazon. Just on the 8th of this month, we released it on YouTube. So you can go check it on YouTube. On Choking Things, that's the platform on YouTube. We're everywhere. I do co-production, but if it is my own film for now, 10 slates, we have done 2. Remains 8. When we finish, then we'll sit down and look at where else. And when I say language films, I want to do language films. From Hausa to Idoma to Jukum. We have stories lined up. But we want to tell our stories from the north. We want to springboard from the north. We are not being northern-centric or Ariwa-centric. No. We just want to bridge gap. And this gap includes employment. There's so much poverty in the north, so we need to intervene. Why we even did Kaka was an intervention when we saw UNICEF's over 10.5 million out-of-school children. We said, so how do we contribute? So let's do a film. How do we talk about the film? Let's go to the United Nations and talk about it so that we come top bottom and bottom top. Any question? Yes, ma'am. I hope I've answered it. And please, if I can't answer the question, is that I don't know.
I will try my best. All right, now, who wanted to ask a question? All right.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here and to meet you in person. So I just have 2 questions. Okay, one of it would be that personally and in my organization, we're a research think tank, and most of the things we do are research for social issues. And recently, we're looking into things like communications for development and things like that. So while I haven't seen Kaka before, but I'm sure I'm going to look for it. So I just wanted to know, in your experience in storytelling with films like Kaka, how effectively do you think that they change perceptions and promote actions towards social issues? That's the first question. The second question is, given that many rural communities may not have access to streaming platforms, like the Netflix and Amazon and things like that, what strategies do you think that filmmakers should adopt to ensure that their stories reach and resonate those audience who should benefit more from the film? So something like a movie like Kaka, for instance, I know it will be discussed in the UN and all of that, but the actual woman who would give her daughter out to an older man to get married to, how would she see this movie, and then it will make a whole lot of difference, in their life and decisions. Thank you.
All right. Yes, okay, so I'll take it from the second one. The second one is that even with our aggregators, what we told them is that there is something we want to do with Kaka. If we have anyone, like an NGO or government or anyone talking taking Kaka, we had something we planned out. We call it MCC, Mobile Community Cinema. We want to be able to screen Kaka in all the communities around us. And how we wanted to do it is we wanted to do it like Mamsa. We come to the village with our cinema truck, go to the front of the Emir's house or Selki's house, and then they will announce that we'll come and show a film. Then we'll show the film, we'll screen the film. So even with the aggregators, we're begging them that in our deal, let it be that we're able to activate that component. Because our initial design isn't even to go to streaming platforms with the film. We wanted somebody to meet us halfway, to say you have the content and we have the platforms. Mostly NGOs to say, okay, pick it up, and then we were at some point we were even willing to give them at no cost. Go to the villages and screen the film. Because we believe by watching the film, because it's a story of the Kaka who wants to become a nurse. Her mom is a traditional midwife, and her practices didn't go down well, a few deaths here and there. And the girl is saying, no, I would want to become a nurse and do it differently. But the parents said she had to get married. So they married her off. So, but before then, there was a man and his wife that came back to the village. And their mission, Mala, was to educate every child in the community. So their paths crossed. And then the rest is when you watch the film. You will see whether she eventually became the nurse, whether she's been able to help the family, what happened to her marriage, and all that. So the whole idea was to activate community mobile cinema, where we will go. We can't cover all the communities. But if we're able to cover even 10, as a matter of fact, even 1, we are sure that the communications in the film will make it possible for the people to make to change their minds about education. In any case, in our own little space, with our own little resources, what we wanted to do is, if we go to the communities and identify a few that even want to go to school, from our small purse, we wanted to give them some money and pay for them. So when that aspect hasn't been activated up till now, we deployed the money to pay, 2 months ago we paid wife fee and jam fee in Kano for 64 people on our own. It's small, but it is that we don't want to talk. We want to also act. So that is what we feel. And even now, we are still begging the people that in our clause, in our negotiation, put a clause that we can screen these films. Because at the end of the day, the idea of top, bottom, top is, if it is mentioned at the UN General Assembly, or if we say we have talked about it there, the people here in Nigeria, stakeholders will listen to us. Because for the film, we went to meet even with the Minister of Education, who graciously agreed that every facility under the Ministry of Education where we want to screen this film, he has given express approval. That is a plus. We want to be able to screen it in schools. We want to be able to give schools the right to screen. It's open for everybody. We didn't intend to make, we want to make money, but not necessarily from Kaka, but from a maktaba, so that we subvent. So that's the whole idea. And then whether the communication is working from the first question, I can't say because we are not activated, but I'm convinced that it will work. Why am I convinced? Because visual advocacy is one of the most effective forms of advocacy. I'll give you a simple reference. You could, if you go to church now, let's say you went to church last Sunday, you might not remember the message, the title of the message, but you can remember a drama you either participated or watched as a child of 6 or 8. Because what you see sticks to your brain. So we believe the intervention will get a lot of people saying they want to put their children in school and all that. We're convinced. Because in the film, we make sure that religion and Western education are not in conflict. Where the Mala is saying they can work together. And then Kaka is the daughter of the Malam in the village, not the teacher. It's an interesting story, trust me. And for your NGO, maybe we might even consider giving you a limited access to watch, just like our guy from UNESCO. They are interested in the two films already. So we give them the platform, we give them the access. If anybody, you can quote me, if anybody wants to take the film, like I addressed the wives at the tip of the Oscars, I addressed the wives of all the governors of Nigeria. And instead of pushing the Oscars film to them, which was the purpose, I was actually pushing Kaka to the Governors Spouses Forum. I said, take it. Use it to do campaigns. Because we screened a part of it also in one of their events. Take it, talk about education. So we want to make money, we also want to make impact. There are places money and impact we have to meet. We don't want to go bankrupt, so that we stay afloat in Nigeria's top economy and be able to make impact from
Criticizing it, there must be a reason. You know, good lie, you don't know why. Can you just share with us? Because we are here to learn. Why did they criticize the film?
In all honesty, there wasn't any part of the film that was criticized that we didn't know would be criticized. Because while on location, you just know what is working and what is not working. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I remember on 4 occasions I went to the man at the helm. You know, even when you are the producer, the director is in charge of the production, even if it is your money. That's why you see that they say a Prince Daniel film. It might not be my money, but it's my art, it's my craft, it's my brain work. And for the producer, you can only say an Emmanuel Eyaba production. So the man that is directing owns the film. You can only advise. And I went 4 times to the director and said, this uniform, I'm a barracks boy, this uniform didn't exist in 1993. Even though it was given to us by the Air Force. I said, this uniform, this desert camo did not exist in 1993. And the director said, it is what I've been given that I will work with. I said, no, we can't defend this thing. The military vehicles didn't exist that time. And so at some point when I got there the 4th time with different complaints, the director told me, he said, Aboki, I'm the director, I will take responsibility. So when they started insulting the film, and the director and I were talking, and he's in the US, he stays there, and I said, director, you remember what he said? I came with Aliu, a production coordinator, and I established a witness. I didn't say you take responsibility. I said, now, take responsibility. Own it with your full chest. That we had the opportunity, we actually had the opportunity to do a better film. It would have been better if only we listened, if only we were patient. Because we can't explain to the people how overwhelming it was. It's the most difficult production I've ever been involved in. Logistic-wise, and shooting at the airport, if I see anybody holding a script that he wants to shoot at the airport, I'll be the one to advise him. Don't. It's difficult. Everything in Nigeria is tough. Everything is wahala. But again, thank God for Max Air as partners. They didn't even charge us using the aircraft or using even the airport authority. At some point, they use our name. They say, so Aboki is part of this production because I'm very popular in Kano, not in Nigeria. If you go to Kano now, even from the park, you say Aboki the area father. Ask 10 people. If 7 don't know me, I will leave Kano. So we use name to leverage, but there were things we would have done differently. And if I was directing, there were things I would have done differently. Trust me. Not because I'm better than the director or I'm the best, but I will not accept a production setting me up. If we say the uniforms will have to be used like that, then let us tweak the story a little and we don't even have to say it's a true life story. And then again, another one that I said, this one will not work, is if by no standard will a cabin crew and a pilot say they fall in love and confess it openly. So I knew we didn't get that. If they want to do it, they will hide it. They won't hold hands and they say, you know, it's just proposed. And so, we were critical of the job ourselves. We were critical of the job. So when those things kept flying, I said, we knew they were coming. We would have been naive to say we didn't know. So when you want to do production, you might just want to try and get it right. Is there an absolute movie? No. There is no perfect movie. But basic things you should be honest to basic things so that people won't judge you. People won't be responsible. In any case, bad publicity, even in film, is also a publicity. Because as one insults, the next one goes to watch. As one, and it did the numbers. It did the numbers. Just like this in the straw that people are insulting. He's still doing the numbers. They insulted. That's why I even said I will ask the film class if Jelia in straw, if she was a victim or a villain. So maybe that was my last question. If she was a victim or a villain, and if we go back to acrimony, I will just ask who was right. And who was wrong. So these are debates that we will never just finish. So Emma would have gotten it right, but again with film, even in whatever we're talking about, there were things that I feel we should have done differently. But your correction is always in the next film, not in the last film. There is never going to be a perfect film. There is never going to be a totally accepted or acceptable film, perspectives and all these ones. But keep the basic as true as they can be. And if me and the advice you say, I stay for now balance boy. And they tell you, from where it exists, they tell me, the balance boy. Now me know. She get. And so listen to me. If I tell you say they know they salute with right leg or left leg, they know they do like this that we do in Hollywood. No, you can't do the two at the same time. These are basic. Basic things in our films. Basic. And you can see with the small clip you saw in Kaka in whatever, you see a lot of extras. In Kaka, I use 1,000 extras. Because I don't want to do the one we do in Nollywood, where in a restaurant, a whole restaurant, boyfriend and girlfriend want to eat, is the two of them. It is possible, but it's not visually realistic. It is possible that the restaurant is about to close, the two of them now enter. Okay. But as long as you want to put a restaurant, you have to put movements. Somebody is in the background doing nothing. You saw how I taught people. One moving with donkey, one moving with everybody is moving. That's how they do it in Hollywood. And that's how we need to be doing it. Like a whole restaurant, a whole street, and then of course our shots usually, if we want to do our shots, and then there is a crowd, there is an accident, we know where the camera will be. It will be here, facing all the crowd, so that all of them will hold on. Hey! Because we are lazing around, and we don't want to do OS, so we don't want to put a crowd. In a decent accident. Is there a decent accident? Decent accident. But the accident never be decent. Is that people will be everywhere. Everybody will be everywhere now. People are here. So it's your job to move your camera and go do an OS, move your shots. If you need to tell everybody clear, if you need to put people moving in and out, then that is film production. That's why it's motion picture. But you gather people by one side. Hey, a restaurant, 2 people. 2. No. It's possible, but it's not visually realistic. So we try to keep it as honest as we can. By the way, the process of my scripting is one of the hardest things. For Kaka, when I had the idea, I told 2 people, we were 3. So we did a script conference. We invited 7 people, making 10. When we picked their minds on it, we discarded the 7 and brought fresh 7. Only the 3 of us continue with the 7. Do you know how many times we did that process? We did it 10 times with 10 different people. Then we now pick one from the 7 times 10 and brought them to the final script. So when we started getting nomination for best screenplay, best directing, there was nothing we didn't get nomination for. Whether we won or not. We won some and we didn't win some. But every aspect of the production, including Cold City, which was the latest, we got best feature film and best director. In the UK, the one we got best Nollywood film, it was best African film, best Nollywood film, best screenplay. Because every aspect of the production worked. Can it be better? Absolutely. Where do we improve? The next production. MashaAllah.
Alright. Put your hands together for Aboki. So please, before Aboki, I don't want you to talk everything today. There are people here who paid to be in this school. Plenty why they see here. Now these people, they didn't pay.
We'll come and face them.
So Aboki, what we do it?
You want to invite me?
Yes. We'll plan for a day, right? When they want to start their project, because each person is supposed to write and direct the film. Yes. So you will come, you will give us one day. That day is just to tell them secrets of making a short film, because they're all shooting short films. Am I speaking your minds? Maybe when I beg them now, say please, Sako.
No, I don't agree.
Yeah, so Prince Daniel will be joining us. We are going to fix a day, right, for a general class for all of you, because there are secrets to making short films. If you won't carry this mind, go put down for short film for students. You will die before your time. Don't try it. So he will be here to.
Yes, and actually the best place to start as a filmmaker in Nigeria is from short film. That's the best place. That's the best entry point. You know why? Nobody is going to open any door for you in the industry to enter. So you have to use your short film to bulldoze. And where do you take your short films? To festivals. And festival gives you opportunity to meet people you can't meet. Emmanuel will bring his feature film. He's a big producer, he's a Obi Omiloye, or he's Papel. Then I'll bring my 10 minutes film, or even 2 minutes. Of course, short film is from 1 minute, 40 minutes downward. Even 1 minute. And then he's been selected for Africa. I've been selected. They'll give me a flight ticket, they'll give me. They'll give him room, they'll give me. And then when we all come, I will say, Emmanuel, glad to meet you. My film is screening tomorrow. Would you like to? People listen to you when you have something to show. Not when you have drama. So you invite them, Dr. Ben, come and watch my film.
Yes, he will come.
As a matter of fact, my Canadian visa was for film, short film. Short film. And they gave me 10 years. Don't worry, I'm not jabbering. 10 years. Short film opens the door and brings you before great men. Because a film is a film, whether it is short or long, whether it's short or feature. So do short film. As a matter of fact, you can do 1 minute film. Yes.
1 minute.
Go and Google this film. Someday, somewhere. Multi-award winning film. I don't know. Someday. I can't remember the title like that, but it has won a lot of awards. A lot. In fact, there's Oscars consideration for short films to tell you how important short film is. It's not the length of the film, it's the substance of the film, it's the quality of the short film. So you want to come into the industry, the Emmanuel DJ members, they won't allow you. Producers do, they won't allow you. Actors do. And if you want to become an actor, for those who want to become actors, if you want to become an actor, get somebody from the school to do the short film and feature you. If not, the industry tough. Even for the bigger people, it is very tough. So I'm open to that part of sharing of knowledge to come and talk about the short films. MashaAllah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aboki, and we hope to have you again. All right, we are winding down right now. We are winding down, and I just want to make a few more recognitions so that we can have a vote of thanks from our director of programs. In our midst is a lady who has spent all her years looking for insurance for the entertainment industry. She works in a sector that is called entertainment, trying to bring insurance and entertainment together, so that we no go to the sick or we no go to the get accidents, they go beg for money. That is actually her forte, and she's here with us. Please help me celebrate Temi Tayo Akpan, please. Stand and see you. She promised giving us welfare for this program and she didn't fulfill it. I'll cast her. I will give you account number. Give a proof account number. JF account number. So in our midst we also have a very powerful lady of timber and caliber. She is a teacher by profession, and she's also my partner. Aboki say in the comment to come intimidate me. I shot a film with 150 million. The next one is 450. When they talk, I just thought I look my partner. My partner says, my kind of, I'm gonna shock him. Aboki, I'm doing a big diaspora movie project.
MashaAllah.
Telling you, man. I cut not shooting some scenes in the US, the Caribbean, and shooting some scenes here in Nigeria, in my village.
You have made it, sir.
Thank you. I'll give you a role. I'm here to help upcoming find fulfillment.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we are born to do.
Thank you, sir.
Ambassador Jeff, you and Dr. Williams will be my PA on that project. Please help me celebrate Dr. Lynn, my partner. She's here with us. Dr. Lynn Bassi, please. Also, powerful woman. But I don't give anybody number. Don't give anybody number. I don't trust all these people. I also have my friend and the incoming financial secretary of the Directors Guild of Nigeria. Directors Guild is a very interesting program right now. We're having elections on Sunday, and incidentally, yours sincerely, Emmanuel Yaba, is the incoming public relations officer of Directors Guild of Nigeria, Ishala. Please pray for me, the matter tough. I've not been sleeping for the past. Jesus! If you know the intelligent people in Directors Guild, even to that, you won't talk on that platform.
At all, oh.
See, epistle. And guess what? They never direct one film. I hope this is not recorded. Maybe no more film.
You are watching. You are watching.
Now joke and a joke. They speak English. So we are in an election. So pray for us. Dr. Chibuzo is contesting for the financial secretary. He's a barrister by profession and a filmmaker. And he will be coming here to teach us the importance of contracts in the entertainment industry. Please appreciate Barrister Chibuzo, please, for me. You know, she's not being humble, carry her around. Pray! Nobody should carry Barrister as a lawyer against you. You will know he's not this humble. This guy, I know his tactics. He will start by freezing your account. He will do an injunction. My Lord, let us freeze the account. And they freeze the account, when you want to start the fight, you start begging. Can you unfreeze that? Let me just eat. Say no.
I put it to you.
I'll put it to you. That is Barrister. The boy is a fantastic film director too. He's here with us. And I also have my very good friend and boss. I happen to be very lucky. It's not my fault, you know. I might be pride, the problem to concern me. I'm well connected. That's why they hate me. I have the Ogatata of Afro-Caribbean Chamber of Culture and Tourism. See, we are not just anyhow people. He came in his full regalia. And if you see him, you will know that he's a man of culture. He's actually going to give us a goodwill message from Afro-Caribbean Chamber of Culture and Tourism before we invite a vote of thanks from our Director of Production. Please help me appreciate Honorable Quadri Adushayi Kenge for his goodwill message from Afro-Caribbean Chamber of Culture and Tourism. Thank you. This man spoiled me, took me to Lagos, kept me in La Campagne for 3 weeks. flexing.
With taxpayers' money.
I tell you,
All protocols to be observed. My name is Kodri Aju Kende. I'm the immediate president of Culture and Tourism for African Union, ECOSOC Nigeria, and now president of Afro-Caribbean Chamber of Culture and Tourism. First, I want to congratulate every one of you, because when people talk about Nigeria, the only thing that is that kept us going, that people are looking at, Nigerians are this, Nigerians are that. But when it comes to entertainment, everybody wants to be part of what we are doing in Nigeria. And part of entertainment is music and Nollywood. You know, our people, even some of these our brothers, they are not popular here. You are not only popular in Kano. It is when you move out of these shores of Nigeria, you move to some of these African countries that you know that they are popular. The way we dress from the airport, they call us Igwe, very popular in Tanzania and some other African countries. So for those of you here into this, I want to congratulate you, because apart from making money, you know, apart from that, you are contributing your own quota to the development agenda of our dear continent, Africa. And let me shock you. You see some of this Nollywood, today, embassy don't reject their visa. That's why you can see some of this Nollywood, every one of them now, their families are everywhere. They don't reject them, because they know that what you are doing is right. They know that you are in a business that is that everybody can be proud of. You know, anybody that is in Nollywood or acting doing this, you see my brother that wants to Japan now. He has a lot of things here. And that's the belief that we are not running away. So let me congratulate you on this, that you are today part of that people doing all sorts of things to make their Nigeria better. You are not politicians, but you are striving. That's why anytime I see the video, anytime the video though is from he came from a very wealthy family, but look at people like Ashake and others. They struggle to become what they are today. From nothing. Forget that people, they struggle. They've been sick, some of them, they still more than secondary school. And that's the same thing with people in the Nollywood acting industry too. You see some of them struggle hard to become. If my brother should tell his story now, you open your mouth. But today, you are saying he's a big man, my Mataba. You are seeing him, and likewise Emmanuel too. I met Emmanuel some years back. Emmanuel will tell you, I want to do this, I want to do this. He continued doing it. So to those of you who are students here, you know, I want to advise you, you know, there should be no room for, don't look at it. People will come tomorrow and tell you this and that. Don't go into any illicit activities. This is something that if you face it squarely by the special grace of God, the future is more brighter. You know, you too, very soon you'll be speaking, you'll be coming out to say, you have produced this film, I've done this, I've done that. You have this speech that I won't read it out. Let me just talk from you. You know, in Afro-Caribbean Chamber of Culture and Tourism, one of the things we are trying to do is to see how to bridge the gap between Africans and the Caribbeans. What you are doing here in the Caribbeans, you don't have it. And it's an opportunity for people like you, that tomorrow, let me go into St. Kitts, let me go into Trinidad and Tobago, and start something there. They don't have it. And these are people that don't even know their history. Some of them thought that their thinking was that maybe they evolved from the sheep, the slave sheep. When you tell them about their history, they don't know it. But from Afro-Caribbean now, we are telling them that you have a source. Your source is in Africa. You can come back from where else and come and stay here. But when you come, know your source. For anywhere you are in the world, you can contribute your own quota to the development of Africa. Because we don't have any other continent than this. And this is the best continent in the world. It's the best. We have everything. What they have in Congo alone can feed your world. And as you see Congo having issue every day. But in the field you are doing, I'm happy. When you talk about the Kaka something now, the film, brother, let me give it to you. To even think of going to the north, because we need to do a lot in that part of the world. Congratulations, thank you for that. So I don't want to speak much. Congratulations once again, and whatever we are doing, let us be serious. Let us face it squarely. Don't look at Nigeria as this, Nigeria is that. As Nigeria it is today, people are making their billions. And that's why my brother talked about short films now. I don't know whether tomorrow I'm even going to.
Come and register, we'll start problem.
Thank you, and God bless.
All right, for a vote of thanks right now, I'll be inviting the Director of Programs in Cosmopolitan University, Dr. Ben Williams, for a vote of thanks. Please welcome Dr. Ben Williams.
Wow. I will start by thanking everyone who made it possible to be here today. And to the students, especially, who put this together. I am sure you're happy for it. Very, very sure you're happy for it. Because I know that I see some of you smiling. Some questions you probably must have forgotten to ask. And whatever it is, or some of the things that were bothering your mind, I'm sure you are better positioned now to find probably a different, perspective as to what you want to be after now. Some of you thought that you were here by accident because you were sent here by your organization. And I remember that at a point I said, do not be too much in a rush to conclude. Today, you've heard somebody talk about a production running to millions. I'm sure if you tell Prince Aboki to stop movie making, he will tell you that you are probably one of the persons who wish him to die.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now he said he's going to do a job.
That's Indian.
One cast in a box. I have been thinking ever since. I've asked him some questions. How do you intend to pull it off? It is something minutes of movie. Just one actor. And then when he told me the figure, for the crew, equipment and all that. Wow. Now you can begin to
I really
imagine
see that film.
having sunk in so much and what his expectations will be. I think at this point, you need to talk to your friends and your brothers that capacity building, skill acquisition is very key. And one of the places you can find it is here at Cosmopolitan University Film Academy. Now, because of the job he wants to do, some persons are already, willing to sign the register to be PE, even if it's just to carry his bag. You may think it's a joke. The truth is, it is not a joke. For you to have access to the big Hollywood directors, you will pass through the needle of, is it the camels? Is it which of them? The
Cow passing through the eye of a needle.
Good. Now we brought Prince Daniel here, and he has talked about what, without even knowing, you have learned a lot.
Yeah.
At the background, he has discussed camera blocking, he has discussed production, he has discussed directing, he has discussed script writing. What has he not touched? What has he not touched? And then he has told you, yes, you can do short films. You don't have to depend on Director Emma to hold your hand. Of course, he's doing a lot here already. But that you can do your short film, which will give you an adequate leverage just like Director Emma is doing now. So don't be surprised to meet Director Emma in one, maybe the next Oscars.
Yes, sir.
And then your movie too, your short film too, is there. For those of us who have just come to be part of this program, and you're willing to become, one of us, we have started registration. Please join us. If you're willing to do that, you can, at the end of this program, you can stay behind and see one of us. So, we are assuring you that next month, we're bringing in another practicing movie maker. Practicing movie maker, not those types of movie makers who bear names, big titles, but at the end of the day, they've not shot a movie. I'm not, I'm just echoing. Not those who say, I am a movie maker, I'm a scriptwriter. At the end of the day, you can't learn from their wealth of experience. You must get trained. You must get trained. I can assure you that if it's possible to be with Prince on his next job, I definitely will. And even if it's not just on his next job, questions can always be asked.
Yeah.
Now, going back home, you take a look, like we keep saying to you, watch movies. Watch movies and watch movies. That's the best way you can learn, so that when you interact with people, when you watch movies and you see some things that you don't think should be, ask questions. Thank you very much for the other guests that we have. We promise that at Kufa, we'll be able to, talk to about us. Thank you very much.
Alright, so all Kufa students, please wait behind. We're going to take some pictures right now with our guest facilitator and other guests. And I want to say a special thank you to NTA Network Channel 5 for supporting us. Thank you so much. I want to say a special thank you to our guest facilitator. I feel it talk fast. Aboki for coming, thank you. Temitope, thank you. Honorable Quadri, thank you so much. Barrister Chibuzom, I appreciate you. Makizoho, thank you. And thank you, Dr. Lin. Thank you, everybody. See you next month for another Town Meets Gown. God bless you and good night. Order photograph, please. Please, order photograph. Yeah. Okay, please, let's. I'll come to the middle. I know, Anna, don't go over find this. You see your money. Don't be chop. You want to chop my money.
Stop. I think you want to send it, right?
Okay, please, all the guests.